Hello, welcome to the 2011 through 2012 NFL regular season schedule, Week 14 picks, Part 2 of 2. To begin, we'll start off at 12 o'clock Central Time on CBS between Houston at Cincinnati. After years of frustrating teases, the Texans can finally stamp their tickets to the NFL's elite dance party this weekend. Though it's not the manner they had intended without Schaub and a fully capable Andre Johnson, the team's new era of defense and groundwork is well suited to a road test against a skidding foe in hostile territory. Yates manages the game and the Houston defense seals the 10-win deal. Let's also not forget, the Houston Texans are currently flying under the radar. Texans 20, Bengals 13. At 12 o'clock Central Time on Fox, it's Minnesota at Detroit. I expect a fairly high-scoring game given the defensive issues for both teams. However, if Peterson and/or Ponder can't play, obviously that pushes things in Detroit's favor. Peterson has a high ankle sprain, which is the same issue Smith has been dealing with. You can't rush a high ankle sprain, and I don't think Minnesota will want to rush their cornerstone back for their 2-10 team. Detroit is hurting, but they should have just enough to secure their 8th win against an inferior opponent at home. Lions 35, Vikings 24. At 12 o'clock Central Time on Fox, it's New Orleans at Tennessee. The Titans have bent in terms of surrender and yardage, but haven't broken by not allowing too many points through 12 games. Still, the streaking Saints provide a challenge unlike what they've seen before, and even if the Breeze offensive showcase is somewhat slowed, it would take an uncharacteristic slew of errors for the New Orleans offense to shut down enough to stop the win streak. Saints 24, Titans 20. At 12 o'clock Central Time on Fox, it's Philadelphia at Miami. With their playoff hopes just about cooked, it's hard to pinpoint just how much motivation the Eagles will have in this game. There are no such reservations about the Dolphins, however, as Miami has played with both pride and purpose for 5 straight weeks, even with their postseason fortunes going up in smoke. While Vic's return could bring the boost Philadelphia needs to get back on track, he'll also be facing a defense that has been lights out as of late on a 4-week layoff. Simply put, the Eagles have been far too untrustworthy to recommend, especially against an opponent that's been sound in just about all areas in recent weeks. Dolphins 20, Eagles 13. At 12 o'clock Central Time on CBS, it's Kansas City at the New York Jets. The Chiefs sit 2 games back of the first-place Broncos in the AFC West, while the Jets are 2 behind New England in the AFC East. With the musical chairs at quarterback in Kansas City, the Jets have the edge in the passing game, especially with Santonio Holmes at wide receiver. And as for the running attack, Sean Green had a great game for the Jets last week, but the Chiefs have averaged over 120 yards per game on the ground, thus giving them the edge. Defensively, both teams have been good defending the pass, but the Jets have been better in stopping the run. Talent-wise, I'd give the Jets the odds since they have home field advantage anyway. Jets 24, Chiefs 17. At 12 o'clock Central Time on CBS, it's New England at Washington. While the Patriots possess a superior quarterback and far better skill players than the Redskins, there's a bigger reason why New England is on the verge of an 8th playoff appearance in 9 years and Washington's staring at a 3rd straight losing season. Success in the NFL is about making the most of opportunities, and the Patriots don't turn the ball over a lot and have been one of the league's most efficient offenses inside the red zone, whereas the Redskins seem to continually give games away with breakdowns and costly mistakes. With Brady having been near the top of his game as of late, Washington is going to need a superlative effort on defense, and Grossman to conjure up one of his good Rex performances to come out on top. After losing his most reliable wide receiver to suspension, that doesn't seem to be overly likely. Patriots 30, Redskins 20. At 12 o'clock Central Time on Fox, it's Atlanta at Carolina. The Falcons came into this game 2 games back of the Saints in the NFC South, in the thick of the NFL wildcard playoffs, while the Panthers are 5 games out of first in the same division. Both teams have all-pro quarterbacks in Matt Ryan and Cam Newton, that can make the big play. On the ground, Newton has rushed for over 500 yards on his own, giving Carolina the edge in that department. Defensively, the Falcons have more playmakers and know this is a must-win game. The Falcons only give up 90 yards a game on the ground, which will make their matchup with Carolina's running attack very interesting. Overall talent gives Atlanta the nod, but the Panthers will be at home. Falcons 31, Panthers 27. At 12 o'clock Central Time on Fox, it's Tampa Bay at Jacksonville. Sunday's meeting between the Jaguars and Buccaneers is simply part of both teams' auditions for next year. For Jacksonville, change will be coming in a big way as they try to figure out what is going wrong and what needs to be fixed. Tucker is also trying to show that he has what it takes to be an NFL head coach, and wins are a good way to do that. Morris, meanwhile, is looking to figure out which of his young players are progressing and which are failing to grow. I will say this, a healthy Freeman will certainly boost the Tampa Bay offense. Buccaneers 17, Jaguars 13. At 12 o'clock Central Time on CBS, it's Indianapolis at Baltimore. With a playoff berth almost nearly assured, the Ravens still need to finish strong as they remain in the mix for the top spot in the AFC. For the Colts, that means they can't bank on Baltimore looking past this game for next Sunday's road date against a desperate San Diego team. The Ravens have shown an inability to get up for games like this season, but Harbaugh's club seemed to show last week that they have learned their lesson and should be focused. Expect plenty of Flacco and Rice in this route. Ravens 27, Colts 13. At 3:05 Central Time on Fox, it's Chicago at Denver. The Bears sit 5 games back of the first place Packers, while Denver sits atop the AFC West with the same record as the Raiders. The Bears will turn to Caleb Haney yet again at quarterback, which will slow down their passing attack, while the Broncos will have Tim Tebow under center, making this matchup a wash. In the running game, with Matt Forte's status up in the air, Tebow and Willis McGahee will give Denver the edge there. Meanwhile, the Bears still have a very talented defense that can cause turnovers, while the Broncos' defense has improved throughout the season. Even so, the edge goes to the Bears on that front, but the key matchup to watch will be the Broncos' running attack going up against the Bears' run defense. Talent-wise, these two teams are even, with Chicago's rash and injuries, while Denver should benefit from playing at home. Broncos 24, Bears 20. At 3:05 Central Time on Fox, it's San Francisco at Arizona. The San Francisco 49ers consistently have talked about the next step during their turnaround season, taking each victory in stride toward a more significant goal. After wrapping up their first NFC West title in 9 years, that mentality remains the same. San Francisco continues its push for a wild card bye week Sunday when they visit the Arizona Cardinals, who are clinging to a faint playoff hopes after winning 4 of 5. The 49ers, who are 10-2, didn't hold back the celebration after clinching their first division crown and playoff appearance since 2002 with last Sunday's 26-0 victory over St. Louis, and they were back to business the following day. Arizona has lost 5 in a row to San Francisco, so look for more of the same mindset which the 49ers will possess. 49ers 34, Cardinals 15. At 3:15 Central Time on CBS, it's Buffalo at San Diego. The Chargers may appear to have their act in order again, though another win Sunday over Buffalo may do little for their postseason aspirations. They will need a big collapse from both Denver and Oakland in the final 4 games of the season, while likely having to win out the rest of the way in order to make a case for the playoffs. The season is all but finished for the Bills after the way they have been playing the past month. Facing Rivers this week will be their death knell. Containing the run has also been a problem for Buffalo, so this could be another 100-yard performance for Matthews. Chargers 26, Bills 13. At 3:15 Central Time on CBS, it's Oakland at Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers proved last week just how difficult it will be to hand the Green Bay Packers their first loss, and with 3 of Green Bay's final 4 games at Lambeau Field, the 1972 Miami Dolphins champagne may be on ice for a while. Rodgers and the NFC North champ Packers will look to secure a wild-card bye week Sunday when they continue their pursuit of perfection against the visiting Oakland Raiders. The signature moment of Rodgers' otherworldly season came last week when he led the Packers to a last-second 38-35 road win over the New York Giants, their 18th straight victory. The Raiders, who haven't reached the postseason since 2002, had their 3-game winning streak snapped with a 34-14 loss to Miami. The loss dropped Oakland into a tie with Denver atop the AFC West, and it looks like they might plummet down the standings. Packers 25, Raiders 7. At 7:20 Central Time on NBC, it's Sunday Night Football between the New York Giants at the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas comes into this showdown with a one-game lead over the visiting Giants. Both teams like to air the ball out on the arms of quarterbacks Tony Romo and Eli Manning. As for the running attack, well, the Giants have struggled to find consistency while Dallas has ran the ball very effectively well, giving them the edge there. On defense, the Giants have given up a ton of yards but still bring a very dangerous pass rush, while the Cowboys are scoring over 20 points a game. To me, this matchup is a wash. If the Giants can stall Dallas's passing attack, then they have a very good chance to win Sunday night under the lights. However, talent-wise, both teams are neck and neck, but the Cowboys will be at home. Cowboys 24, Giants 20. And finally, concluding Week 14 of the 2011 through 2012 NFL regular season schedule, it's Monday Night Football between St. Louis at Seattle, 7:30 Central Time on ESPN. The decimated Rams would have been hard-pressed to come away with a victory in a venue in which they've experienced little success over the years, even if Bradford managed to suit up, and there's practically no chance of that considering the deplorable state of the team's offensive line. Shutting down the league's slowest scoring team could be no sweat for a Seattle defense that has been performing well in recent weeks, with Brand Stater at the controls, and Lynch stands a good chance of adding to his string of dominant games against a porous St. Louis stop unit. The Seahawks won't need to get fancy to keep their playoff dreams still plausible with another win. A workmanlike effort would do just fine. Seahawks 24, Rams 3. And that concludes part 2 of 2 on my 2011 through 2012 NFL regular season schedule, Week 14 picks. Enjoy the weekend and stay tuned for part 1 of 2 next week.